Sky Genie Entertainment presents the following. The following may not be suitable for children under the age of 18. It contains coarse language, sexual references, views, and personal opinions. The characters on this show are fictional and made for fun, not harm. You are listening to the Sky Genie Show. Hit the music! Hello and welcome to the Sky Genie Show, the worst show ever. We're on episode 51 of the Sky Genie Show, and for anyone needing to know, I do not have a secret black son. Yes, on Monday Night Raw this past week, after weeks and weeks of build-up, it turned out that Kurt Angle had a long-lost son, who happened to be Jason Jordan of American Alpha, former tag team champion, I might add. Now, Kurt Angle gave a really good story and backstory to it, and one I can actually believe, because when you think about it, Jason Jordan and Kurt Angle are 20 years apart, and the timeline that you're in college apparently in America is an average of 20. Then people were wondering why it wasn't Chad Gable instead of Jason Jordan, when Chad Gable is actually a couple years older than Jason Jordan, and if it was him, Kurt Angle would be a teenager, and I don't think WWE wants to be responsible for underage pregnancy or promoting it. Just my hunch. Now we got some of the logical explanation out of the way, but this is where it starts to get illogical. WWE decides to reveal Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son without doing a DNA test, because apparently in WWE logic, DNA testing does not exist. It's quite foreign to WWE that a DNA test might prove if Jason Jordan is actually Kurt Angle's legitimate son. Now that might be blowing the storyline way down the line, who knows. But knowing this has me thinking, hey, could I have a random father that I don't know about? See, I came to the conclusion that either Shinsuke Nakamura or Anthony Missionary Thomas of Wrestling Soup could possibly be my own father. I mean, take away the fact that I don't look anything Asian, but if you're going by WWE logic, it's plausible. So for regular listeners, I guess you're wondering why I'm not going with the normal format of the Sky Genie Show. Well, let's face it, the old style was downright boring. I mean, come on, it's formulaic. I would introduce the show, go to an ad break, then go do news, go to an ad break, then do reviews, and end the show. I mean, come on. That's kind of gets pretty boring at some stage, don't it? The fact that I'm still lacking a co-host at the moment kind of makes me think, well, I want to think something funny, but at the moment, you can't do really much funny with one person. I mean, come on. Especially recorded. I mean, I could come up with a million fly-on-the-wall jokes, but think about it, would it really be that funny? Especially recorded. I mean, gee, that went well. And let's face it, at the moment, I currently don't have a lot of time to sit and watch WWE all the time. I mean, for fuck's sake, the friggin' fact that I gotta sit through that show every fucking week, non-stop, and review it, I mean, it's kind of bullshit. I'm still going to watch WWE, don't get me wrong, but if it's going to be bullshit, why the fuck would I be watching it? And I don't hate wrestling, I still watch wrestling. I've always watched wrestling. I mean, fuck, since the age of 13, I'm always going to be watching wrestling. It's just when I have to sit through WWE week in and week out, and people are always saying, well, why are you watching it if you hate it so much? So, that's what I'm doing. I don't hate WWE. I don't hate GFW. I do not hate this or that. What I hate is stupid, illogical bullshit. I mean, you get those gems once in a while. I think Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar is possibly one of the best feuds all year, behind Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Yes, people hate Roman Reigns, but they're loving the Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. They're loving the fact that Braun Strowman is destroying Roman Reigns every friggin' week. WWE had the perfect angle to turn Roman Reigns heel, to do a double turn, and yet they refused to do it. And there's no logical rhyme or reason besides Vince McMahon thinks that Roman Reigns is this massive megastar. And the difference between my show and that show is that I'm going to change to be different and actually appeal, not to fucking go with a gut instinct. Okay, I'm going to make this thing over, and I'm going to make it get over because I want it over. I mean, hell, I haven't done the Genie Junior updates for friggin' I don't know how long since I've done them. I've done them for a little while for a gag, and after a while, that gets old. To the point I just stopped doing them. And also the fact that keep coming in week after week as shit he could do, I could possibly do. I possibly will do in the future, but come on. Move on. If it's not entertaining, it's not entertaining. The one thing I do hate in wrestling, and with some wrestling fans, is the fact that people will say when somebody is signed, if they're from the indies, is that they're sick of indie talent getting over. To me, talent is talent. If you got it, you're going to be famous. You're going to be a star. You're going to be a megastar, no matter how much the WWE or anybody says or going to try and push you back. I mean, I go on the Solomonster page right now and I'm looking at people who were before going on about how Sami Zayn, they're not people's cup of tea, which I get. Nobody in wrestling is everybody's cup of tea. I mean, if a lot of people are hating Roman Reigns, they're going to hate Roman Reigns. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. If people are going to like Roman Reigns, there's nothing wrong with that either. But when people try to force it down their throats, is stupid. I mean, I go on that page and I'll probably have fun. I'll join into the discussion to have fun. But then when you do that, people classify you as a hater, and it's kind of bullshit sometimes. When wrestling fans think one way, and they go another, and try to cover up the fact that they were one way the first time. Now, if I like or hate something and change my mind, I'm the first one to admit that. I mean, who cares at some point? Once upon a time, I liked Eric Young. When he won the world title in TNA, I grew not to like him so much. When he went on that Twitter rant that time about because people didn't like a TNA pay-per-view, I thought, fuck that guy, I'm not going to have anything to do with that guy. And for years started calling him the low-rent Daniel Bryan. And with Sanity, I call it the low-rent Wyatt family. Now, my opinion of that could change. I mean, I don't watch NXT enough to really form an opinion on it, which is why whenever you heard my show, like if I don't watch it or don't have an opinion on it, I can't say anything negative about it. Now, as far as GFW and TNA, like I haven't watched TNA or Impact for a while, and when it became GFW, I watched a couple shows, and from what I've seen is what I've criticized of it, but what I have not seen, I haven't touched. As to me, that's not fair. That's not fair if you shit on something if you haven't seen it. If you've seen it and feel like shitting on it, okay, yeah, fine. But when you haven't seen it and you bitch about it, then you're just bitching for the sake of bitching. Now, with this show, I'm going to change the format up a bit, way up a bit. Instead of doing the formulaic shit, I'm going to try to find stories throughout the week and go with that. Go with my opinion on that. If there's going to be some weeks where it's going to be absolute hell, I'm probably going to review a Raw or SmackDown. If there's a special event or something big, like the G1 tournament, or if it's WrestleMania, SummerSlam, stuff like that, I'm going to talk about it. What I am planning on doing, I've taken myself off the Mixlr redo list, so I don't have Mixlr for anything live at the moment. I want to do a show when I do live with either with Yuck Nasty, with Johnny Florida, with all these other people, but I want to do it each and every week. So each and every week it's a different thing. So one week will be with Johnny Florida, we go on about these topics. We have Yuck Nasty, we go on other topics. Stuff like that. If I get a full-time co-host, obviously I'm going to split duties with them. And I know people like Yuck Nasty have offered to do a co-host thing on the show, but for me, I hate being rude. Of course, knowing me, and especially with the last show, as much as I thought I had everything prepared with episode 50, I was not prepared at all. And the one thing I felt bad about is that I had to rely on Yuck and Johnny Florida to help me through the show. I wasn't even the one running the Mixlr account. As much as they were cool as helping out, I still felt kind of bad because, it's my show. I should be learning and knowing how to do this stuff. But we're getting there. And for people wondering when the next live show is, I don't know. It could be... I could say it could be next week. It could be 3 months from now. I don't know. I do have a full year coming soon in September, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do anything special for that. One thing with my show, I want to do bits, I want to do skits, I want to do everything on the show. So when people listen, it's something for fun and not for just corny, boring shit. Anyway, we're about to take our first break, so after the break, more of the Sky Genie Show. Can't get enough of the Sky Genie Show? Check out the website, skygenieshow.weebly.com. There you'll find links to past shows and much more. Go to skygenieshow.weebly.com today. For discussions and opinions on the events of professional wrestling, check out Wrestling Soup with Joey Numbers, Anthony Missionary Thomas and John Draper as they break down what's good and what's bad in professional wrestling with a light-hearted approach. Thursdays, 9:30 on Mixlr. Saturday morning-ish. And after every WWE pay-per-view, you get a free post-show review. Check out Wrestling Soup, motherfuckers. Do you need more fruits and vegetables in your diet? Check out juiceplus.com.au today. Juice Plus is the convenient and inexpensive way to add more nutrition to your diet from fruits and vegetables every day. Juice Plus Fruit Blend is made from 7 different fruits. Juice Plus Vegetable Blend is made from 10 different vegetables, grains, plus an array of natural antioxidants, phytochemicals, and fiber in a convenient capsule form. Each ingredient is especially selected to provide you with a wide range of nutritional benefits. We call it next best thing to fruits and vegetables. Check out juiceplus.com.au today. Do you need a good laugh after the crap you see on Monday Night Raw? Then check out the Don Tony and Kevin Castle Show as they break down Raw and current events in professional wrestling. The Don Tony Kevin Castle Show, immediately after Raw. Looking for a good wrestling podcast for Sundays? Because let's face it, who isn't bored on a Sunday, but also wants to have that lazy day? Then check out the Solomonster Sounds Off. He breaks down everything that in the week that was professional wrestling. Also check out his Facebook page, where there's numerous discussions on the topics of professional wrestling. Solomonster Sounds Off drops every Sunday on Podbean. And we are back. The news of the death of Chester Bennington committing suicide this week sent shockwaves through everybody. The lead singer of Linkin Park died via a hanging. Reportedly he had been drinking, but no other drugs were present. He shared the similar fate of Chris Cornell of Soundgarden, who did the exact same thing. And it's sad because it comes after a year of last year where we had a string of deaths of celebrities, most of them musicians. There's a lot of musicians, actors, a lot of that shit going around. And it's sad because there's so many of these people that bring you hours and hours of entertainment, and when they die like this of suicide and obviously mental health issues that these guys were probably suffering, it brings you down to earth that these people are human as well. And you have to wonder, is it a fact that they can't handle fame, or the fact that they're losing their spotlight? Now, if it's a natural death, of course, that's something they couldn't prevent. They'll probably be happy in their lives, but when it comes to suicide, I mean, these guys have to be miserable pricks. So fame doesn't have all the glory. But it definitely sends a message to people who may not be aware that somebody's in trouble. I mean, we don't know. Our best friend could be absolutely miserable and decide to take his life tomorrow. I mean, that's how quick and sudden it is. But there are obviously people listening to this that are probably suicidal, they're depressed and everything. So I say, get help. Don't sit and dilly-dally because you think that you don't matter, that you're just wasting your time, because I'm sorry, you do. And when you kill yourself, you don't just affect yourself. I mean, you're affecting everybody. I mean, for the fact they have to pay for your friggin' funeral, if you haven't bothered to get a funeral insurance. The other fact, if you're in debt, guess who has to pay that shit off? It's not just going to go away. I mean, that shit just balls up to somebody else to do, because you're too much of a coward to do anything yourself. Sometimes you need a quick wake up to yourself. So get up, get the fuck up, do something about it. Don't sit there sorrying yourself because you can't be fucked doing shit yourself. You can't get through to somebody, you can't talk to somebody about your problem, but want to just go out and hang out with a friend. Find a friend to hang out with. If you haven't got many friends, we'll make new ones. I mean, hell, I've been in a situation where all my friends have left town because they get old, get married, and leave, have kids, and have jobs. I'm the only one of my friends still in town. What I did, I went out playing pool at my local club, bar, / whatever the fuck. And I made new friends. Now, they weren't replacing those ones. Those ones are still friends of mine. But obviously I made new friends with new people. And back then, I would hardly talk to anybody. I mean, you wouldn't catch me doing this a couple years ago. That's for damn sure. So you want friends, you want help, get off your ass and go do something. Don't sit on your ass and whinge about it, because if you whinge about it, that's where the issue lies. Sorry, I'm going through my own experience, because we've probably all been at that point at one time, and here's someone that's gotten out of it. I'm actually doing something. I'm doing this show for starters, because now I got something to do. So even that, find something you know you're good at, and don't go on with that bullshit. Oh, I'm not good at anything. Bullshit. If you're good at talking, you go talking. If you're good at thinking, you go thinking. If you're good at writing, go writing. If you can do 50 backflips, do 50 backflips. Do something that involves you doing 50 backflips. Are you perfect? No. But then you could work at stuff to get near perfect. Go out there, find a project. Set yourself a project. Set what you want. Set a goal for your project. This show, for instance. I'm at point A. I want to get to point B. There's point Z or Z, but I'm at point A, so I want to get to point B first, then get to point C and work my way up. You learn new things, you discover new things, you find out new things. I've met friends in podcasting doing this. Yuck Nasty, Johnny Florida, Papa Dave, got friends all over the place. So don't be afraid to get off your ass and do something, because it can't hurt, right? Alright, let's move on to something else. Brock Lesnar. News has gone out that Brock Lesnar is interested in doing UFC again. Reports are going around that he is planning to leave WWE after his contract expires at WrestleMania 34. Once again, pursue UFC. He has re-entered the USADA drug testing policy after being suspended for 1 year and then retiring, quote unquote, to get out of it. But as it's being reported, this may be a ploy to get more money out of WWE. Now, for this, I'm thinking about this. Should Brock Lesnar go to the UFC? Because, well, what's there for him to do in WWE after this run? I mean, he's got the Universal Championship. He's obviously going to put over Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to be the guy that beats Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. We all know where this leads. Brock Lesnar came back in 2012. He's been there on and off. He's been champion on and off. Well, he is an attraction at this point. The attraction is becoming stale. He comes in, he's formulaic, you'll get in Paul Heyman to come in. We're coming in to take on this guy because he's Brock Lesnar. He's going to go to Suplex City. Okay. Then you get to the match. It's a bunch of suplexes, a bunch of F5s. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Now, I've enjoyed Brock Lesnar's run in the WWE. This second go around, I think this is obviously the best run he's had in years. Whether people agree or not that he should be the champion because he's never there to offend it, but then he's the most legitimate person there, so I think he's the most logical person to hold the championship. I mean, who the fuck is going to beat Brock Lesnar? Especially when I said about Samoa Joe. Would Samoa Joe only last in 6 minutes? And Papa Dave was not exactly thrilled about that, but I said this. As much as you want to say that, and yes, it's a work and it's a performance, you gotta remember that the idea is to make it look like a shoot. And if you gotta think in real life, how long would Samoa Joe actually last against Brock Lesnar? In fact, that he lasts 6.5 minutes, to me, is actually longer than what it should be. And it's not just Samoa Joe he's gone through. He's gone through John Cena, he's gone through Randy Orton, he's gone through Triple H, he's gone through everybody in the world. To me, and one thing about with Brock Lesnar, it's interesting. Every time I see Brock Lesnar, it's interesting. Now, you do get those duds with Dean Ambrose where it's nothing exciting, just formulaic, but he does bring an air of excitement every time he's on TV, because when he's in the arena, you know something is going down, something big is going down. And what WWE has been missing for years has been that big fight feel. And Brock Lesnar brings that big fight feel. Along with Paul Heyman, who's probably one of the best talkers in the business, Brock Lesnar is probably the best guy to have around at the moment. And, well, I just said, it probably is becoming stale, but at the same time, I would hate to lose Brock Lesnar to UFC, but he says that's going to be forever. And yes, he's 40, has said that he's probably going to give it up when he goes to 40, but when you think about it, how many athletes have gone to 40 and think, well, I still feel good, I can still do it. Shawn Michaels went to at least 45 before he actually retired. One of the things I said a few years ago, there's always been that class of superstar, whether it's been a Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, The Rock. Those were the upper echelons. And I say Brock Lesnar is easily in that category because he's a legitimate star. He's a crossover star. He's not only a star in the WWE, but he's a star in the UFC as well. He's known throughout the fighting world. He's a former NCAA wrestling champion. And the dude is and comes across as a badass, legitimate fucking athlete. That's why I put him up there in that high echelon. While he's not the talker that Hogan, Rock, and Steve Austin are, he is definitely well freaking known. And for people who question, does Brock Lesnar get a Hall of Fame? I mean, that's a stupid question, because obviously it's yes. Anybody who says no is a friggin' moron. No offense, that's just my opinion. So, but now we're going to another break, so after the break, we'll be back with more of the Sky Genie Show. For in-depth discussion and show updates, go to the show's Facebook at the Sky Genie Show page. Looking for a podcast instead of wrestling? And check out Get in the Corner with Dogger Baby and Yuck Nasty, 8:30 Wednesday night on Mixlr. You need more fruits and vegetables in your diet? Check out juiceplus.com.au today. Juice Plus is the convenient and inexpensive way to add more nutrition to your diet from fruits and vegetables every day. Juice Plus Fruit Blend is made from 7 different fruits. Juice Plus Vegetable Blend is made from 10 different vegetables, grains, plus an array of natural antioxidants, phytochemicals, and fiber in a convenient capsule form. Each ingredient is especially selected to provide you with a wide range of nutritional benefits. We call it next best thing to fruits and vegetables. Check out juiceplus.com.au today. You need more fruits and vegetables in your diet? Check out juiceplus.com.au today. Juice Plus is the convenient and inexpensive way to add more nutrition to your diet from fruits and vegetables every day. Juice Plus Fruit Blend is made from 7 different fruits. Juice Plus Vegetable Blend is made from 10 different vegetables, grains, plus an array of natural antioxidants, phytochemicals, and fiber in a convenient capsule form. Each ingredient is especially selected to provide you with a wide range of nutritional benefits. We call it next best thing to fruits and vegetables. Check out juiceplus.com.au today. Check out the Sky Genie Show right here on YouTube. For those wanting to follow me on Twitter, it's at SDD916. Check it out. And we are back. Alberto Del Rio and Paige have been in pretty much news topics throughout 2017. Lately, what's been going around is the domestic assault charge involving the two. Now, last week I went on a rant about men abusing women, but in this case it was the other way around. According to a report that Del Rio has been apparently taken off investigation list for an assault and battery charge. Paige, however, is to be charged for assault and battery. Now, I've been hearing reports that the two have made up, but if you're pressing charges, they wouldn't be made up, unless there was no way to get out of it. Now, the fact that they are dating, I could give two shits. It doesn't matter to me who's dating who, because it's irrelevant to me. If this guy wants to date that girl and that girl wants to date that guy, it's no bother to me. I could give two shits, because it's none of my business to begin with, and this is none of my business either. And I'll say this, I've been a Paige supporter. Like, I'm not like a hardcore Paige supporter like all these people are crying over Paige, but because I support Paige because I see her as a really good talent. I mean, she's easily someone that could be a star in the WWE as a top person in the star, and she was almost on the verge of becoming probably the top star in the division in WWE. But the trouble is, she's one of those young 23-year-olds who are apparently invincible. Apparently there's a lot of drinking and drugs involved with it. Hey, we've probably dated or know one of those chicks that are complete and utter screw-ups. Now, here's me hoping that something snaps into her head, and this issue in particular snaps her to a point where she gets back on track, just focus on her career. This is career suicide for Paige, because if she gets let go by WWE, she's never going to change. In fact, I see it getting a lot worse. And the only reason I see WWE not releasing her is like with Randy Orton. They see Paige as a big star, and letting her go would be foolish. Randy Orton was years upon years of being an actual douchebag to fans, people in the back, and everybody. He's had so many more suspensions, and some that WWE don't even want to acknowledge, because they see money in Randy Orton, or saw money in Randy Orton at the time. Nowadays, not so much. His star has faded. He's easily become one of those other guys on the roster. Paige, while still young, as I said, I see that star. They of WWE probably see that star, and that's the only reason I can think of WWE has not let her go. But as far as this assault and battery thing, now, I'm not going to make an accusation. Don't want to make an accusation, but I have a feeling that Paige, while Paige was not caught, obviously here, I think she has been abused by Del Rio somewhere down the line. Now, I'm not saying that that this is certain and this is fact, because, hey, I'm not going to report news like that. I mean, why would I? That would be stupid. I mean, I've known victims, everyone else has known victims of abuse, and how they react is how they react, and there's nothing you can do to talk them out of it. The only solution that you have is let them figure it out. There's no getting through to them, because they haven't experienced anything to get through it, and until they get to a point where they say, hey, I'm sick of this, I want out, she's going to continue doing it. And you can get a parent to tell her, hey, you probably shouldn't do this or that, but they're just going to do it anyway. Take it as young and naive, and sometimes the only way they learn is when they actually have a kid. Not saying that's the solution either, because obviously there's bad mothers out there, but there are people that I know that have had kids, and they've absolutely mellowed and matured out. And they were once doing the rebellious bullshit once themselves. It's fact, it's life, it's how it goes. Unfortunately, I do hope Paige doesn't join the list of the people or the young wrestlers that died because of either drug abuse or being murdered or committing suicide. Because when you think about it, after the Chris Benoit stuff, wrestling has been hit pretty hard with that bullshit. The fact they're always recognised as steroid abusers and pill poppers and shit like that, which is unfair because they are actually people. Like I said with Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, they are people too with feelings that obviously can't handle fame. Fame becomes an issue because they're all either been so loved or hated to the point that it becomes a burden, and they can't have a private life. There's absolutely no private life, because obviously we're talking about the relationship between Paige and Alberto Del Rio. I mean, how many of that is a human topic? Anyway, moving on. I am debuting a new segment called Stupid Shit of the Week. Now, with this, I'm going to be fair and interactive with it. If you find a storyline on a show that makes completely no logical explanation at all, it's really a stupid storyline, and it doesn't have to be wrestling, it could be anywhere. If you find a stupid storyline, then go to my Twitter at SDD916 and suggest it. I'm doing it at Twitter at the moment until I set up something either on the website or the Facebook page where you can nominate it and attach a clip or somewhere where I can link onto it. I'll personally go through it to see if it's worth being Stupid Shit of the Week. This week, however, will be Kurt Angle finds out he has a black son. I'm sorry, I know I talked about it at the start, but come on, that was the most stupidest thing all week. The fact that this was a reveal was laughable, and it was all because Jason Jordan happened to be the bigger guy. That's it. That's why. Oh, and the ages, as I said, I know, at the start and at the end. I would like to thank you for listening to this episode of the Sky Genie Show. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Check out our website, skygenieshow.weebly.com. And on Facebook, it's the Sky Genie Show page. And on Twitter, it's SDD916. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you later.